Good morning, students. Today we will start Unit 1 Solid State. In lower standard, that means in 11th standard, we study the gaseous state. Now, characteristics of solid state. So, in lecture 1, topic number 1.1, general characteristic of the solid state. Now, first point, we know very well. Solid compound having definite shape. It possesses definite shape. Again, it having definite volume. Again, definite mass. In liquid, if the liquid state, there is definite volume, but there is no definite shape. Volume fixed. In case of gaseous substance, shape and volume both are not fixed. In all cases, mass are fixed. Now, second point is liquid, solid, and gaseous state. These are depends upon the two factors: intermolecular force and thermal energy. In 11th standard, we studied solid, liquid, and then gas. In gaseous state, consider particles, that means molecules, otherwise atoms, are far apart. That means thermal energy. Thermal energy is maximum, moving from solid, liquid to gas. Thermal energy increases. That means in gaseous state, thermal energy is maximum, solid state thermal energy is minimum. Now, second factor is intermolecular force. So, in solid state, particles are closely packed. That means intermolecular force is strong. In gaseous state, intermolecular force is weak. That means moving from solid to liquid to gas, intermolecular force is decreases. That means substance whether solid, liquid, or gas state, that depends upon the combination of thermal energy and intermolecular force. So by this we can write solid having intermolecular force. Intermolecular forces are strong. In case of thermal energy, we can write thermal energy. Thermal energy is minimum, we can write, otherwise thermal energy is low in solid state. Now, based on this, again we can write the characteristics. Intermolecular distance. In gaseous state, particles are free to move, while solid they are closely packed. That means intermolecular distance. In case of solid state, intermolecular distance is minimum, otherwise you can write very short. Intermolecular distance is very short between the particles. Now, fifth one, the constituent particles are closely packed. Intermolecular force is strong, intermolecular distance is very short. That means constituent particles may be atom, molecules, otherwise ion. That means we can also write ion, atom, otherwise molecules. Constituent particles are fixed position. That means they do not change their position. That means we can write position. Position is fixed. In case of gaseous substance, they are randomly moving each direction. In case of solid, position is fixed. Position is fixed, that means We know very well one property, that means fluidity. Solid in compound particles do not flow. That means it does not possess the property to flow. Gas and liquid both having the property to flow. Solid particles do not flow. That means we can say position is fixed. That means they can only oscillate around mean position. So here position is fixed, but particles otherwise they can oscillate around the mean position. In case of liquid and gas, they are having property to flow. Solid particles do not flow. That means solids are rigid. You can say they are rigid body. Pressure, solid, liquid and gas. Maximum effect of pressure is found on gaseous state. Solid, effect of pressure is minimum because particles are closely packed. That means solids are incompressible. You can say incompressible. Incompressible. These are the general characteristics of the solid substances. Okay. Now next topic is classification of solid. Classification of solid means solid having different characteristic and based on different factor you can classify the solid. First one is based on intermolecular forces, again based on structure we can classify the solid. The topic next topic is classification of solid. Classification of solid based on structure. That means topic number 1.2 is the main classification based on structure. So based on structure, generally solids are classified into two categories. First one is crystalline solid. Crystalline solid. And the second one is amorphous solid. Crystalline solid and amorphous solid. Name suggests crystalline solid, a crystal. The solid substance is a crystal. Amorphous solid means amorphous, no form. Amorphous, that means it having no form. That means no regular alignment. So what is the definition of definition of crystalline solid and amorphous solid? The first point is based on structure. Crystalline solid and particles, that means constituent particles having fixed pattern, that means repetition. Repetition of the constituent particles, that means suppose like this type of arrangement, that means same arrangement will be repeated. That means first property, it between the distinction between the crystalline solid and amorphous solid. So we can say like this. We can write the property-wise difference between the crystalline solid and amorphous solid. The first point is property-wise. We can say order. That means arrangement. Arrangement of the constituent particles. Order means here arrangement of constituent particles. Constituent particles in arrangement long range order. Long range order. In case of amorphous solid, short range order. Short range order. એનો meaning repetition ના થાય. repetition થાય પણ up to certain extent થોડા distance સુધી repetition થાય પછી pattern change થઈ જાય. So we can write definition. Crystalline solid means in which the constituent particles are arranged in proper manner, having long range order. While in case of amorphous, short range order, arrangement હોય અમુક ડિસ્ટન્સ સુધી અરેન્જમેન્ટ હોય પછી અરેન્જમેન્ટ ચેન્જ થઈ જાય. રેન્ડમલી અરેન્જમેન્ટ ના હોય, અરેન્જમેન્ટ હોય પણ અરેન્જમેન્ટ કેવી હોય અમુક ડિસ્ટન્સ સુધી હોય પછી ચેન્જ થઈ જાય. Short range order. Now second point regarding the melting point. Okay. The crystalline solid and melting point fixed one. That means fixed temperature. It melt at the fixed temperature. Suppose substance A is crystalline, having melting point 500 Kelvin, 300 Kelvin. Fixed temperature, definite temperature, at this temperature it melt. In case of amorphous solid, temperature range, fixed temperature now, temperature range. That means amorphous solid, this substance is suppose amorphous solid, then it melts over the temperature range. That means it melts between the 300 to 400 degrees Celsius, otherwise 400 to 50. That means melting point is fixed. Melting point is fixed, otherwise definite. That means characteristic melting point is there. Here temperature range is there. Temperature range. No fixed temperature. Third is shape. The crystalline solid having definite characteristic shape. That means regular shape. Shape is fixed. Otherwise, you can write it having definite shape. ચોક્કસનો shape હોય. In case of amorphous, no fixed shape. No. Shape is not fixed. Irregular shape. shape irregular, fixed shape ના હોય. Definite shape ના હોય, definite geometry ના હોય. એનો meaning study કરવો હોય તો crystalline solid નો study થાય. amorphous solid નો study ના થાય. એટલે એમાં કોઈ shape નથી, melting point fix નથી, એની કોઈ definite geometry નથી. Now fourth point is heat of fusion. Heat of fusion. That means how much energy is required to melt the solid compound. So again here crystalline solid fixed. Otherwise we can write defined. Heat of fusion fixed solid. Suppose this solid substance having 200 kilojoule per mole. In case of amorphous solid, not fixed value, range. Here also, suppose amorphous amorphous solid છે એને મેલ્ટ કરવો હોય તો કોઈ ફિક્સ એનર્જીની વેલ્યુ ના હોય. તમારે શું છે એને સર્ટન ટેમ્પરેચર રેન્જ તમારે હીટ સપ્લાય કરવી પડે. ફિક્સ વેલ્યુ ના હોય. સપોઝ 500 કિલોજૂલ ટુ 600 કિલોજૂલ એવી રેન્જ બને. સિમિલર ટુ ટેમ્પરેચર. એટલે હિયર ઓલ્સો નો heat of fusion fixed now. These are the similar points. Melting point છે, shape છે, heat of fusion છે. અને crystalline solid છે એમાં ફિક્સ હોય, બધી વેલ્યુ ફિક્સ હોય. આ જે amorphous solid છે એમાં ફિક્સ ના વેલ્યુ. Now these are the main points with. આ જે crystalline solid છે like nature. The crystalline solids they are truly solid. That means true solid. True solid means it possesses all the characteristic of solid substance. Solid means જેવી બધી characteristic કોઈ બધી હોય. Incompressible છે, does not possess fluidity છે, intermolecular distance short છે, all characteristics. Amorphous solid we can write pseudo solid. Pseudo solid otherwise super cool liquid. Why they are called pseudo solid? These are not perfectly possess the properties of solid. True solid, that means it does not have property of fluidity. The particles any movement ना થાય. Movement થાય તો ક્યાં થાય? Around mean position. In amorphous solid, example suppose glass. Okay. Glass, otherwise we can say plastic. Polymers are the examples of amorphous solid. Glass નો observation કેવું થયું છે કે ઓલ્ડ બિલ્ડિંગ હોય એમાં જે ગ્લાસ પેનલ હોય, સપોઝ 50 years ઓલ્ડ બિલ્ડિંગ હોય એમાં જે ગ્લાસ પેનલ હોય, ગ્લાસ વિન્ડો અધરવાઇઝ ડોર, તો જે ગ્લાસ પેનલ છે એમાં મૂવમેન્ટ થતી હોય પાર્ટિકલ્સ. એ પાર્ટિકલ્સની મૂવમેન્ટ બહુ સ્લો હોય. આપણને 5-10 વર્ષ 15-15-20 years આપણને દેખાય. તો સપોઝ 30 years 40 years કોઈ એક બિલ્ડિંગમાં ગ્લાસ પેનલ હોય તો એની મૂવમેન્ટ થતી હોય અને મૂવમેન્ટમાં શું છે વેરી સ્લોલી. એની ઇફેક્ટ આપણને ઓબ્ઝર્વેશન થાય કે જે બોટમનો પાર્ટ છે આ ગ્લાસ પેનલ, તો જે બોટમનો પાર્ટ છે બોટમ પાર્ટ it will be slightly thicker compared to top part. એનો મતલબ શું થયો છે કે પાર્ટિકલ્સ છે એની મૂવમેન્ટ થાય છે પણ મૂવમેન્ટ સ્લોલી થાય છે. આ પાર્ટ થીક છે, આ પાર્ટ થીક છે, પાર્ટિકલ્સની મૂવમેન્ટ થાય છે. એનો મીનિંગ ટ્રુ સોલિડ હોય તેમાં મૂવમેન્ટ ના થાય. એમાં મૂવમેન્ટ થાય પણ અરાઉન્ડ મીન પોઝિશન ઓસ્સિલેશન થાય. અહીંયા મૂવમેન્ટ થાય છે એનો મીનિંગ એનામાં પ્રોપર્ટીઝ છે ફ્લુઇડિટી. એનો મીનિંગ they are not completely solid. Therefore this word is used pseudo solid. Why super cool liquid? amorphous solid prepare કરો તો તમે કોઈ બી સબસ્ટન્સ છે ને હીટિંગ કરો and પછી rapidly cooling. Heating is carried out and then rapidly cooling to lower temperature. Amorphous solid will be produced. Therefore, it is called super cool liquid. Liquid છે અને તમે લો ટેમ્પરેચર કરો, ટેમ્પરેચર ડાઉન, ફાસ્ટ તમે એનું ક્રિસ્ટલાઇઝેશન કરો, મિક્સર, amorphous solid. Therefore, these two words are used, pseudo solid and super cool liquid. Now, 6th one is cleavage property. ક્લીવેજ પ્રોપર્ટી મીન્સ જે ક્રિસ્ટલાઇન સોલિડ છે એને તમે કટ કરો, બે પાર્ટમાં ડિવાઈડ કરો, કોઈનાથી બી કટિંગ કરો, એનો જે સરફેસ હશે એ સેમ એઝ ધ ઓરિજિનલ, that means plain and original substance, similar to original substance. That means we can say crystalline solid possess cleavage property. So answer is yes. Why? So when it is cut into two parts with any tools, so both parts having similar structure and they are plain and smooth structure and similar to original part. Suppose આ પેન છે અને તમે કટ કરો બે પાર્ટમાં અને બંને પાર્ટ જો સેમ હોય એનો જે સરફેસ છે સેમ જ હોય, that means it possess cleavage property. So here they are asking the question, suppose one substance does not possess cleavage property, otherwise it possess cleavage property. Suppose it having cleavage property, then it is crystalline solid. It does not have cleavage property, that means amorphous solid. In case of amorphous solid, it does not possess cleavage property. Amorphous solid છે એને તમે કટ કરો, માની લો કે આને તમે કટ કર્યું છે, સપોઝ ઇટ ઇઝ amorphous solid, તેના જે બંને પાર્ટ હશે, બંને પાર્ટ કેવા હોય, ડિફરન્ટ હોય, એમાં જે સરફેસ પ્રોડ્યુસ થાય એ જે સરફેસ હોય એ ઇરેગ્યુલર સરફેસ હોય. સપોઝ આ amorphous solid છે એને તમે કટ કરો તો સેમ પાર્ટમાં જે સરફેસ છે, આ બાજુ સરફેસ સપોઝ આ ટાઈપનો આવે છે, તો આ બાજુ સરફેસ શું છે, ડિફરન્ટ. ये सरफेस है irregular shape, this surface having irregular shape, that means it does not possess the cleavage property. Now 7 property, nature, that means isotropic nature, otherwise anisotropic nature. We can say properties of isotropic, otherwise anisotropic. So what do you mean by the properties of isotropic and anisotropic? So first we will see the structure. एक स्ट्रक्चर दिया आपने कोई सॉलिड कंपाउंड में, रेगुलर अरेंजमेंट, सिस्टमेटिक अरेंजमेंट. सिस्टमेटिक अरेंजमेंट છે લોંગ રેન્જ ઓર્ડર છે પાર્ટિકલની, આ બ્લેક પાર્ટિકલ છે, બ્લુ પાર્ટિકલ છે, સિસ્ટમેટિક ઓર્ડરમાં અરેન્જમેન્ટ થયેલા છે. That means it is example of crystalline solid. Crystalline solid નું એક્ઝામ્પલ છે. Isotropic nature and anisotropic nature. That means iso no meaning is same nature, certain physical properties like electrical resistance, we can say conductivity, otherwise refractive index, this type of properties are studied. Then what happens? Suppose this type of physical property will be same in all directions. Isotropic nature means properties are same in all directions. આ ક્રિસ્ટલાઇન સોલિડનું સ્ટ્રક્ચર છે, લોંગ રેન્જ વાળા છે. આપણે એ બી ડાયરેક્શનમાં મૂવ થઈએ તો બધા બ્લેક પાર્ટિકલ્સ મળે. હવે સપોઝ ડાયરેક્શન ચેન્જ કરીએ આપણે, સપોઝ આ ડાયરેક્શન લઈએ, this will be CD direction. The arrangement of particles are different. Blue particles, black, blue, black. Arrangement is different. That means automatically properties will be changed. That means in crystalline solid, physical properties like electrical resistance, conductivity, refractive index are not same. Reason? In different direction, arrangement of particles is different. That means we can say crystalline solid possess anisotropic nature. Anisotropic nature. So remember, anisotropic nature, while amorphous solid possess isotropic nature. આમાં જનરલી મિસ્ટેક થાય છે. amorphous solid માં why it possess isotropic nature? To short range order, in each direction, particles having different types of arrangement. So automatic, when we consider this type of properties, they having same value. In case of crystalline solid, fixed arrangement, more different direction, properties are different. Remember, crystalline solid is anisotropic, while amorphous solid is isotropic in nature. And finally, last point, example. Crystalline solid, so many examples. Suppose NaCl, urea, glucose. Now amorphous solid. So remember the example of amorphous solid. So first, glass. Otherwise we can say quartz glass. Sometimes it is written quartz glass. It is amorphous. कोई पण प्रकारનો ગ્લાસ હોય એટલે amorphous solid નું example always remember. Polymer. कोई भी polymer હોય એટલે example amorphous solid. Polymer solid state માં હોય ત્યારે. Polymer means plastic. Plastics. PVC છે, Teflon છે, polystyrene છે, polythene છે, બધા amorphous. In short, plastic આવે એટલે example polymer. રબર. કોઈ બી સિન્થેટિક રબરનું એક્ઝામ્પલ આવે એટલે એક્ઝામ્પલ શાનું હોય? amorphous solid નું જોઈએ, ફિક્સર છે. જનરલી ગ્લાસ છે, પોલિમર છે, રબર છે, આ બધા એક્ઝામ્પલ કોના છે? amorphous solid. Quartz glass and quartz, they are different. Suppose quartz. Quartz means one type of three-dimensional silicate. Example of three-dimensional silicate. That means SiO2. They have a fixed arrangement. So quartz is example of crystalline solid, while quartz glass is the example of amorphous solid. Always remember, quartz glass, amorphous solid, quartz is crystalline solid. Now, these are the basic difference between crystalline solid and amorphous solid. Now, certain substances are there having property between crystalline and amorphous. So here one point is there, polycrystalline solid. What do you mean by polycrystalline solid? Polycrystalline solid Polycrystalline solid means in between crystalline and amorphous. Exact definition. Some solids are apparently amorphous nature but at micro level having crystalline structure. Some solids are apparently amorphous nature, but at micro level. Suppose at micro level we are studying, it possesses crystalline structure. This type of solid is known as polycrystalline solid. An example of polycrystalline: certain metals possess sometimes in polycrystalline nature. તો રીઝન એવું છે એમોર્ફસ જ દેખાય આપણને, પણ ડિટેલમાં સ્ટડી કરીએ માઇક્રો લેવલ પર સ્ટ્રક્ચર. Then single crystal. Metal is made up of different type of crystal. The single crystal having crystalline structure. Therefore, in certain cases, metals possess polycrystalline solid. Okay. So here topic 1.1 and 1.2 completed. Thank you.